Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and today me and Susan are sitting down in a brand new year doing our same old thing. So, yeah, but
Causing shipwrecks and darkening lighthouses,
yeah,
apparently.
uh, yeah, because this week we're talking an old movie from 1939, a Hitchcock movie, which was his last movie made in the UK before he moved to America to make movies over there. Um, so this is based on a Daphne du Maurier story, which Hitchcock would make three in total of her books into movies. This one, which we'll say in a minute, but there was also The Birds and Rebecca, which he made into a movie as well. But this one we're talking about is Jamaica Inn, starring Charles Lawton, Maureen O'Hara, um, in the main leads, as Susan says, about not as shipwreckers, not shipwrecks, but of the wreckers who cause these ships to come aground on the rocks on purpose.
Mm.
Um, and this is the tale of, and Jamaica Inn does exist.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
a real place. Apparently, definitely Du Maurier stayed there, and that gave the inspiration for the story. Um, so we'll go over to Susan on her opening thoughts on Jamaica Inn.
Thanks, Lee. Yeah, Jamaica Inn is is a real place, like Lee was saying. It's actually supposedly, um, not supposedly, but it is considerably haunted by some of the people that have done studies about the ambiance around there.
Uh-huh.
Is that it's actually due to all the potent uh murderous thieves that were part of it. It's just there's a lot of ghosts around there, and that's pretty cool. um and it's in Cornwall, and that's important because you see how rocky the coast is in Cornwall, and you see that if you turn off the lighthouse, if you shutter the lighthouse, you know if you start burning fires elsewhere, showing where people think that that's actually the lighthouse, it throws it throws captains and first mates and anybody who's doing the navigating on the ship completely off their trajectory. And these ships in this movie, these ships that would come down on the rocks would break apart, but before they broke apart, they would be unloaded in rapid fashion onto a cart and
Yeah.
dragged out of there. And that was amazing. It was told well about that. And then there was you know the the lead actress was she was I can't remember if she was on the ship or if she was like in a cab going from one
Stagecoach. Yeah, yeah.
stagecoach from London or from somewhere else, maybe
She'd come from Ireland, so she'd have come
across the
from
Midlands, maybe from Manchester or Liverpool.
most of have come from Liverpool downwards.
Yeah. So anyway, she was going to try to set up a life, and the the person that she meets he could have been a scoundrel, but he was actually kind of an honest guy, and it turns out later he's a cop.
Mm.
Anyway, before there were coppers, that
A
was the
law,
interesting
a
thing.
lawman.
The lawman.
Yeah.
And anyway, the whole city doesn't like the whole a lot of the people around, especially the people on the highest order, whatever, of society, the highest rung of the ladder. They were all like, you know, probably because they had people that worked for them there. But but anyway, now it's people who go there who are like, oh, it's haunted. Anyway, um,
Mm.
yeah, those are my opening thoughts. I enjoyed the movie. Back over to you, Lee.
Thank you, Susan. Yeah, for a movie from 1939, I think it stands up really well. Um, I know Alfred Hitchcock wasn't happy with it because the producer of the movie was Charles Lawton,
Oh,
who who was putting his power over, over production powers over the director.
uh-huh.
Because Lawton was cast as another character in this, but he cast himself as Pengallan. The, so Hitchcock wasn't happy with that, and Lawton demanded more screen time. He wanted to be on screen more, so that caused Hitchcock to reveal that Pengallan was the leader of the smugglers earlier on in the movie than he wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to reveal that nearer the end that he was the villain of the piece.
Huh.
He had to reveal it earlier on because he wanted more screen time.
So all of that, trying to have his way with Mary,
Yeah,
that was
that was
all.
his demands to be on screen more.
Oh, okay.
Um,
And then the interesting thing is that Mary is our of secretary of the Treasury is named Janet Yellen, but this is
all
Mary
right.
Yellen. So I was just thought
Yeah.
it's just a really rare name. I've never heard before.
Also, as well, um, Lawton demanded that Maureen O'Hara be cast as the leading lady in this.
Mm-hmm.
So he was putting his demands on Alfred Hitchcock quite a lot. Um,
Wow.
but I think his choice there was great because Maureen O'Hara was great.
Mm-hmm.
And she went after this. She went to Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
starred in the next film with Charles Lawton in the Hunchback of Notre Dame
Mm-hmm.
with Esmeralda, and she never looked back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but also as well in this, the character of what Charles Lawton played was originally in Daphne du Maurier's book was a clergyman, was
Mm-hmm.
a reverend, but Hollywood wouldn't have that as a religious figure being seen as the villain of the piece.
Mm-hmm.
So that had to be rewritten as a squire of
Mm-hmm.
the place. I know there's been remakes of this, and they've gone back and made the Reverend put the part of the Reverend back in. But in this one, there's no vicar, uh, who's the leader of the gang. But yeah, I think it's a great. I mean, it's not a hard story to follow. It's a simple story, Mary arrives. She discovers that there's smugglers in the inn, and she saves one of them. She finds out later it is a lawman who's doing an inside job, trying to catch them, catch
Yeah.
the leader of the gang, and that's the main. That's the main story, really. Um, but for me, it's the atmosphere of the movie, the the sea, the scenery with the sea, and even that sounds amazing. I don't know what soundstage it was built on, but it was so authentic with the rough sea crashing against the rocks, and they're in the water, and it was amazing sets.
Yeah.
I'd say back from 1939, amazing sets. Um, Charles Lawton did overplay his part as Pengallan. He was a bit pompous and a bit camp and hoity-toity.
Yeah, he
Um,
was.
Robert Newton as well in this as Jem. I mean, if everybody knows Robert Newton, they'll know he sort of created uh, what we know now as the pirate, as we would always think a pirate would talk,
Oh
because
yeah.
he played Long John Silver in Treasure Island,
Oh
did Robert
yeah.
Newton, and it was a hard Jim lad, and that's
Oh,
how he did it, and everybody now from that then on onwards thinks that's how pirates should talk, you know.
that's
But
hilarious.
it was said that was a young Robert Newton there, and but yeah, it's just a simple tale, but really well shot. I mean, for me, Hitchcock can't do no wrong, really. He was one of the greatest directors.
Yeah.
It's a shame he didn't do a cameo in this one, a walk on, like he used to do. But so yeah, that's and it. I'll go back. I'll pass it back to you, and we'll back and forth. And
Just Josh Merlin,
mhm,
the whole the how the how Jim keeps how the lawman keeps getting tied up and then escaping a bunch of different times. And Josh Merlin makes the comment about him being magic. I thought that was really funny because of the character name was Merlin, and
yeah.
yeah.
Which I mean, Mary went to live with her aunt. Was it Patience?
Yep.
Aunt Patience, who was married to Josh. Um, Now that's a relationship there with Patience and Josh. He was he was a very demanding husband.
Yep.
It looked like he beat her.
Yep.
Um, giving her duties about the inn. I mean, he was also a bit of a lech over Mary.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a kiss. I mean, he was her uncle,
Yeah.
so a very lecherous person.
Yeah.
But Patience still loved him,
Mm-hmm.
and by the end of the movie, it says they both died together. Really,
Yeah.
loving each other. It's just a weird relationship, but it works so well on screen. You hate the uncle, but you love the aunt.
Yeah. And you've got the whole, this is where um this is where the girl was Mary was off to. She was
Mhm.
off to live with them,
Yeah.
and you know how how whether or not they protected her or were actually pushing her into harm's way. that was always like sort of the question with because I was glad that at the end she and Treharn, the lawman, were a couple. Like that was like the really the best part of it was in that because yeah, you could see that patience was that was a good name for her,
Mm.
and that
Oh yeah,
Joss, yeah, and that Joss was not nobody to trust.
yeah.
Yeah, and they had you know they had done these crimes so many times. I mean, I just didn't. I don't know how they must have been, really wealthy from their paid out life of crime, right?
Well, according to in the movie, that the takings were down, wasn't they? There wasn't every time there was a wreck, the takings was less and less. People were getting a bit suspicious. Is someone lining their own pockets, or you know, as Pengallen said, we're down again. We need to up
But
the ante.
Pengallen was actually, living super, uh,
Yeah,
super wealthy.
yeah. He was throwing money away left, right, and centre. I mean, when he had his village residents there queuing up to see him, uh, you
Yeah,
know,
like the Godfather, right?
yeah, and the little old lady, my roof leaks. He just sits up and says, "Give her a new roof." So who, is that the money? Is that the takings? So was he that such of a bad guy? Because was the takings going back into the township? He was repairing
Well,
the house.
yeah, if you have to
Yeah,
prostrate yourself in front of somebody,
yeah,
kind of establishing and really cementing um, a caste system.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was. I mean, it wouldn't have been such of a bad guy if the sailors on the boats wasn't being murdered. But he wanted them all dead. He had, no witnesses. So that's where the bad side comes into it.
yeah, for sure.
As you say, a class system there in the village
Yeah,
with Pengallan on top there,
yep,
um, living a life of luxury.
yep,
Um, yeah, it's a. I can see why people say it's a classic movie.
yeah.
But as I say,
It's really cool, like how emotional the characters really are. You know?
yeah, yeah, because you get to feel for her, you get to feel for Mary, you get to feel for Aunt Patience.
Yeah.
Um,
Get to
and
feel
then
for the anybody who gets tied up and threatened with the lash and
yeah, I mean, by the end of it, also you feel for Pengallan because in his last moments,
yep,
people are saying he's mad, he's totally
right?
lost lost the plot. Which when watching it, you think he doesn't know what he's doing, and then then he jumps to his death.
Yeah.
Um, which what was it? Make way for Pengallan or something. His last words are,
Yeah.
well, you would do. You wouldn't want him landing on you. But also as well, it does make me. I'm going off tangent here, but this does make me want to see um, the Doctor Who story, The Smugglers animated,
Uh-huh.
because I've listened to the soundtrack of that, and you do get the feel of it's sort of like Jamaica Inn. It's all this, the smugglers, shipwreckers. So I got the feel, I got the edge of like I want the smugglers animated.
Yeah.
So, but that's just me. That's me with me a little bit of Doctor Who bit in nearly every cast.
Yep. It's good.
Yeah. So anything else you want to say about Jamaica Inn?
Um, yeah, it was a good Hitchcock story. I mean, there really was sort of a lot of jeopardy. All of the characters could have met a really terrible end at
Yeah.
various points, so that was good. And, um, I just so I don't know. I've never read Rebecca, but you and I um you and I reviewed Don't Look Now, which was another one of her movies,
I think
Daphne
it
du
was,
Maurier, and we also
that
reviewed
wasn't
The
a Hitchcock
Birds.
though, was it? Yeah, that wasn't the Hitchcock though.
No, but this was a
Uh,
Daphne du
Yeah,
Maurier movie,
it was. Yeah, yeah,
and yeah, I don't really know if I don't know if I've let's see. Yeah, there's I don't remember if I've seen any of the other ones, but yeah, she's the stuff that she wrote is really atmospheric, really weird, really fun, really dangerous, great.
yeah,
The horror genre sort of, and so I really enjoyed that. That's good. It's a good sort of setup, and then there's you're always looking for a little swashbuckling when you see these guys, and there was a little bit of that.
yeah. I mean, going back to Daphne du Maurier, I mean, she only passed away in 1989.
Uh-huh.
So she was about when all these movies were made of her books. So I don't know what she actually thought to these adaptations.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um, Her writing though was well, she was given a damehood.
Oh, she was.
She was given a damehood. She was Dame Daphne du Maurier.
Oh,
So
okay.
for all the writing.
Okay.
Um, yeah, she passed away when she was 81. So she had a good life, and
Yeah.
made people's lives happy with her writing, with her classic books, as you say, like Rebecca and The Birds and this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Don't Look Now. Yeah.
That was the one with Michael Caine, right?
No, it was Sutherland.
Oh, Donald Sutherland. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was a good movie that as well. Um, Anything else before final say and score?
Um, no, that's pretty much all I have about this.
Oh,
Oh,
cool. So
I did enjoy some of the ghost hunting that went on in Jamaica and recently. There's some fun YouTube videos about ghost hunting
oh,
over there.
you've been looking, have you?
Yeah,
Well, I think there's a Daphne du Maurier museum at the inn as well.
I think
So
so.
that'll be interesting. Never really appealed to me there, but now watching the movie and thinking, you know what, I might like to go down there and just check it out.
Yeah, but it's Cornwall is like the south west coast, right?
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, it's right.
on that long spit of
You as you go down, you right to the far end of England, and you get like Land's End,
yeah,
Cornwall, and that
got
way. Yeah.
it.
Uh,
Yeah,
so
it's
well,
cool. Apparently, apparently, they still have rooms and stuff, I think, at this particular place. I'm not
all right.
100% sure, but I think so.
But you've got to dress like a smuggler.
Yeah, so yeah, that's probably true.
So what would you give this then? This movie out of 10?
Well, I'll give this an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. Um, um, yeah, lighthouses. Uh, Turned off out of 10. It was definitely a good story. It was definitely a good location, and I think
Yeah.
that was really interesting. And I like the way that Daphne du Maurier writes, Dame Daphne. And let's see, um, yeah, Hitchcock, of course, is
Mm,
pretty amazing.
one of the best.
Yep. And so that's my score. What about you?
Well, I will give this. I'm going to give this 9 tankards of ale out of 10.
Yeah, good.
Seems we're in an inn. Um, yeah, it's very atmospheric, acted well. Um, I'd say the sceneries in the movies are brilliant, and for a movie from 1939, it keeps you there watching. You don't wander off. It's
Right. Did you watch it colorized or not?
no black and white,
Yeah, me too. All right. So
black
at
and white.
least
When I see a film what's been colorized, I think no, because they can't get they don't seem to get the color right.
sometimes that is the case.
Yeah, and it seems a bit, and it's sort of off-putting. So yeah, watched it black and white.
Okay.
Um, Found a good link on
Yeah,
YouTube.
me too.
Uh, so yeah, that's our little review of Jamaica Inn from the Hitchcock Productions. Um, you guys out there, if you've seen it, let us know what you think of it. Let us know what you think of these old movies that we sometimes review. Um, Leave a message below. You'll find us on all forms of social media, so you can leave us a message on any of them. Um, if you want to join us, leave us a message, as you say, on all forms of social media. You just need to be 18 plus, because sometimes we do watch and review things what you know are not for youngsters. You need to have a working microphone and camera on the device that you use. That's it. Apart from also as well, if you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, please press the bell notification button. Still not, I get a ding 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 on this, and you'll get notified every time we put up a video. So, and I think we're done here. So until we review the next thing, please be safe. And stay away from those cliffs in the stormy weather, because you never know, them smugglers might be about. So see you next time.